Hello, I am so glad you can join me today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today, I will be making some sweet and sour pork. Yes, today's dinner is going to be sweet and sour pork. So I have all the ingredients in front of me. So let me show you exactly what I'm going to be doing. As I go through putting everything together and assembling everything, I will tell you exactly what it is that I'm putting together. So over here I have some pork chops. This pork has already been cleaned and it has been dried. So I'm going to add a few things to it. So all I'm going to add to that is I have in here some sugar. I'm just going to sprinkle some sugar to that. And I'm not measuring it because this will depends on how much you are using. So I just took a little handful and sprinkled it. That was it. Okay. I have some sesame oil here. I'm going to put a little sesame oil over that. Just to sprinkle a little bit over that. Over here, I have an egg. I'm going to break this egg and put in there. And just clean my hands. And I have some soy sauce. I am just going to throw a little bit of soy sauce. There's probably about 2 tablespoons in there. And as I said, it depends on how much pork chops you're doing. We're going to go in with some clean fingers now. And we're going to mix this all up together so that the egg and everything would go all over it. Just use your hand. Mix it up well. That way you can get the sugar, the soy sauce, everything over all the meat. And basically this is what I'm going to do right here. So just make sure your meat is dry, that you don't have a lot of water in here. Okay, guys? Okay. Now once you mix this all up well, the next thing you're gonna go is I have a cup of cornstarch here. I'm going to sprinkle this. That's a lot of cornstarch. That's fine. Get all of it out of there. And you are going to continue now to mix this and mix it well. What the cornstarch does is it makes your meat nice and crunchy, and it separates it so it's not stuck together like how the flour would have it stuck together. Makes it nice and crunchy when it's fried. So you just gotta make sure you mix it up nice, well. And that's it, guys. That's it. That's it. That's what your pork chops look like after you finish mixing it up. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to rest this aside for a minute. Rest this aside so I can go on to something else. Now that we set our meat aside, let's start on our, we're going to be using an onion. This is a 1 large onion. And we have here pepper. So we're just going to cut this pepper down. And we're going to cut our peppers like this. We try to cut everything the same size. And that's it for the peppers. So I have a plate over here. I'm just going to rest my peppers right there on that plate. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the onions too. And we're going to cut the onion down, same size. Rest it right there. Okay, so now I have my peppers, I have my onions. I don't need this anymore. So to also go with our sweet and sour, I'm gonna add some pineapple. So this is a can of pineapple. I just poured off as much as the juice. And now I'm gonna measure 1 cup. And I'll pour this in here. So that's what I have. I don't need this anymore. So let me just put this over there. Some good juice. There. Now, in here, let me just wipe my area off. In this bowl, I'm going to make my sweet and sour sauce, guys. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some sugar to this bowl. So I'm going to add I'm adding five tablespoons of sugar. Now, just know for sweet and sour, if you don't want to have sugar, you may have to do some kind of substitute for that because it does have a lot of sugar, so it's not the healthiest of all. Okay, so just remember that. I'm going to add to that 5 tablespoons of ketchup as well. So we have 1, I measured that just right, didn't I? 5 tablespoons of ketchup. Then we have here some vinegar. This is rice vinegar. If you don't have rice vinegar, you can use white vinegar. So let's just use some vinegar here. So I'm going to take like 5 of these. There we go. Now I'm gonna mix this up. I don't worry about the sugar because the sugar, once it go on the stove, I'm gonna put it on the stove, it will melt. Okay. So this is our sweet and sour sauce here, right? So now to this sauce, I'm just going to add a little dash of soy sauce. And of course that's going to change the color. So now instead of having that nice red color, you have a little dark color. So this is it for our ingredients now. So this is everything we're going to use here for our sweet and sour pork. So let's go over to the stove now so that what I'm going to do is I'm going to fry the pork first, get a nice crispy pork, and then I'm going to add all this other stuff, okay? So let's go over to the stove. Now I have over here pan, this is my wok, it is hot, and this is some sesame oil that I am going to put it. I think I got my pan a little bit too hot. Okay guys, so my oil is hot, it's hot enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple of my chops in there and let that brown. So I will cook all my chops, and then as soon as this is all done, we'll go on to the next step. Okay guys, the pork chops is looking good. I already have a couple over here. Just get some paper towels so that you can get all the grease out of it. And I've enlisted another pan to help me so it can go a little bit faster because this wok is a little small in the bottom. Okay, so I will be back as soon as this is all done. So over here, pork chops are all done. So now what I'm going to do is add to a little oil I have here my onions. I'm going to add the onions in first and just stir that up a little bit. just soften the onions up just a little. And then to that, I'm going to add the peppers. And we'll just stir this up for a few minutes. Okay guys, the camera just cut off while I add the pineapples, but I added the pineapples in here. I don't think the camera caught that one because it cut off, okay? But this is the pineapple that I've just added with just the peppers and the onions. So to that, I'm going to add my sweet and sour sauce. You want to add it all in there. Give this a good mix up. My stove is on high. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. My stove is on high. Now I'm going to add my meat to this. So add the meat. Oops. Added my meat to that, and then just mix everything up, guys. Just let everything get covered. And just mix it up. This is a lot in here. So I'm going to continue to stir it for a little bit. You can just shake it like that. Try to get it all over. And just bring it to a boil. My stove is high. So I'm just bringing it to a boil. And that's it, guys. That's it. That's your sweet and sour pork. I have some white rice. Well, actually it's brown rice. You can serve this on top of some rice, or eat it just like this if you want it this way. But it's good to serve with some rice, okay? So that's it, guys. All done. Sweet and sour pork. Okay, guys. So this is our sweet and sour pork. Is all done. Over here, I have a little plate of rice I put there. So now I am going to take one of my pork chops and put on top of my rice. And a little of my vegetables, my onions and peppers. And that's it, guys. It looks delicious. So I'm going to taste it for you. It does look good on a bed of rice. So let me go ahead and take a piece of the pork chop and taste it for you. Looks good. The meat is very tender because the pork chops was thin, so you can get the thin one to do this. Guys, this is very delicious. You can taste the sweet. You can taste the sour from the vinegar and so on that I put in there. This is absolutely delicious. And you see, it's pretty easy. You just get all your ingredients together before you get started. That way, once you get started, it's easy. Guys, I had fun making this for you, and I hope you have fun making some for your family. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I love to read your comments. Until next time, bye-bye.